Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk here, presented by Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Today, we're going to talk about two of the GM candidates that are coming in the building that are going to be interviewed by the Detroit Lions. You'll get to know them a little bit better so that you know how to make an informed decision on who you want as the GM. We also got Dr. Jimmy Liao coming in about the Ragnow injury and what his take is on his injury. Yeah, that hurts. We're also going to have your comments in our comment card section, Detroit Lions news and rumors in that section. And also we got Curt with the injury report for yesterday, the main course, your question of the day. Man, just so much going on today. But first, before we get into all that, I have to bring in my man, the man of Steele, Curt Steele.
What up, dude? Welcome to the show, people. You know what it is. It's Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. You know what you got to do. Join the family, subscribe to the channel, and like the video, share the videos, comment, answer the question of the day. And all of that gets this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. And also ring that notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Let's get this thing started right now. Hey, welcome back to the show, people. You know what it's time to do. It is time to get at these comment cards. Jim, you up first.
We got Ryan Diltz, and he said, can you guys give a shout out to my uncle Mario Martinez? He's a new subscriber. He's been a fan of the Lions before I was born, and I'm 35. Yes, we can. We will do that as soon as we read the rest of your comment. Yes, keep Stafford. I don't care if we get lucky and draft Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine from Remember the Titans. That's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
Do it the right way and give him time to learn under Stafford. Plus, we lose $10 million in cap space if we move on from him.
I think it's a little more than that. The cap hit is like too. 19.
You know, we got to find that out.
When I looked at yesterday, I looked at the cap website yesterday, and it said 19. We will save $14 million. His cap hit is 19 if we release him. His cap number is 33 million against the cap, which is 17% of the Lions' total cap for the season for next year.
For all the people worried about the cap numbers, there is such a thing as restructuring, and we could even extend him. I mean, those are two possibilities. Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it could happen.
It could happen.
Let's do this. Mario Martinez, shout out to you. Thank you for being a new subscriber. And we really appreciate you.
Mario, man. And shout out to another Mario I know. My nephew, Mario Thompson, last week became one of our subscribers as well. So shout out to the Marios on the show. All right, next up, OMG, it's Lions Talk. That's our guy, Big Mike Jones over there. He says, you two are killing it. Now, some backstory on OMG, it's Lions Talk, or Mike, as we call him we call him the DSA. Mike introduced Jim and I on one of his shows. We did one of his podcast episodes, and that's how we met. So, and that started this lifelong partnership right now with what we having right now. So we're doing shows together. He's been on the Die Hard Den podcast, which is my other show. And he's helped me out with some school. I was in the room segment. So big shout out to Mike over at OMG's Lions Talk, man, who bringing us together. And we are better for it over here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl.
Shout out to you, Big Mike, because if it wasn't for you, there'd be no us. Appreciate you, man. So MT Readers says, I love Stafford and hope he can bring a ring home to Detroit. I think maybe we should start looking for the future after Matthew, our GOAT, greatest of all time, Stafford, retires a Lion and carries the mantle on into the future. I love the front office moves so far with Spielman, Johnson, which I think he means Sanders, and company coming in to help and advise the team as well. Good statement. You know what? I like Barry Sanders and Chris Pittman.
Yeah.
I would love to have Calvin Johnson back. He's a little busy right now, but
Megatron is mega smoke right now. He's over there running his smoke shop. Yeah, he mega smoke right now. So yeah, he's doing that. All right. A friend of the show, the Dern. Hey, shout out to the Dern. The only way to get rid of Stafford is if another team gives you a first rounder for him. I mean, it's going to be desperate. It's desperate times, it's desperate measures, because there are teams that really are in need of a good quarterback, and Stafford is definitely on the radar of a lot of teams. One of the biggest teams out there is Denver. Is Denver really? Who's that? The Patriots? Yeah. Are they willing to give up a first rounder for Matthew Stafford? And take on his part of that $33 million that he's due next season. So
I think it has something to do with what placement that first rounder is. That first rounder is like 32nd. I mean, that probably wouldn't happen.
If it's a where we
fifth or something like that.
If we can get 2 first rounders out of that deal, where we get a first rounder, I'll use our own first rounder, and then a first rounder for Stafford. That's something to look into.
It is.
I wouldn't want him to leave, but
I don't either. It's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Roberts says, what has Stafford ever won? He's had a great defense. He's had a Hall of Fame receiver. He's still never won a thing. He's good, not great. His pockets present is trash. He gets sacked too much. He holds onto the ball for too long. We think our players are so much better than they actually are. Everyone is so sure that if Stafford goes to another team, he'll win playoff games and Super Bowls. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I'd expect more of the same from Stafford when he moves on. We simply have to say that Matthew Stafford has never had a top 10 defense and a top 10 running game in the same year. I don't know what great defense you're talking about. He's averaged about 26 rated in the league. We had 1 year where he had a 5th rated
run defense.
Run game. No.
Oh, run game.
5th rated defense, but the running game was like 20 something.
Yeah.
He hadn't had a 100-yard rusher in 5 years. There is such a thing as the team wins too. What has Stafford ever won? I don't know. Basically every record that the Lions have ever put out there, and I think the image around the league also is that he's a very, very good quarterback to elite. I think that's the case.
I mean, and I really don't buy into the premise that a team wins is solely on the quarterback. I've never brought into that premise, but Elijah, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't agree with you. I think the best defense he ever had was in 2016 when we got the robbery out there in Dallas. Okay. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Ted Cheney. Boy, that's a good name. Are you a lawyer or something? Ted Cheney, Esquire. All right, Stafford is a beast. Take away the 30 comeback wins and what would the Lions' record have been then? The problem is not John, Matthew, Stafford. The organization has failed him.
Absolutely. Totally right on board with you right there, bud.
Yep. Completely. I get all of that. I'm feeling all of that comment, Ted.
Okay, now we're going to go into the Detroit Lions news and rumors for today. And Thursday, the injury report came out. Kenny Golladay on track to miss his 7th straight game.
I think he's done for this. I don't think he's going to play the rest of the season.
I think he'll come back for the last 2 games.
The last 2 games to get some tape out there for other teams?
No, to let other teams know that he's healthy. I think I don't know if this is on purpose. I don't know if it's a re-injury. I don't want to go into anyone else's personal injury. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on.
But, I've always said I don't count another man's pocket, and I don't get into what another man's injuries are.
Absolutely. But, it is what it is. What do you guys think? You can let us know in the comments below. Report, Detroit Lions have interest in Saints personnel director Terry Fontenot. Okay.
These GM tentacles is getting out there, man. I would say this, and say what you will about Sheila Foreham. They are doing their due diligence. they're interviewing a lot of individuals for this GM position.
And they're bringing in the big names. And I'm not saying that that's the best thing, but the big names are there. Why? Because they have experience, because they've done things in this league.
And they've won stuff.
They've won stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of not winning stuff, Detroit Lions rumors, ESPN's Louis Riddick to interview on Friday. Speaking of not winning anything.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, guys. It's just funny. But no, they're going to interview Louis Riddick. They're going to interview Rick Smith. I mean, these are big names coming.
Pioli, Dimitrov coming up. Those are guys we're going to talk about today.
We're going to talk about Terry Fontenot too coming up. We got some shows coming up next week. I want to break this for just a little bit because I want to tell you guys that Christmas schedule next week we'll be doing Monday through Thursday shows, but no Friday show, as Friday is Christmas next week, and we're going to celebrate that with our families. So
that's correct.
Next up, the PFF names 3 Detroit Lions to their Pro Bowl roster, and those 3 are T.J. Hawkinson, Frank Ragnow, and what's the fox say? Jack.
What's the fox say? Frank the Tank. Yeah,
Frank,
man.
I broke my throat. Ragnow.
Yeah, man. Hopefully that can heals up soon.
Now, the Lions also signed veteran cornerback Tremaine Brock to the practice squad. He entered the league as an undrafted free agent in 2010, but he made a name for himself with the San Francisco 49ers. He spent 6 seasons there. Working his up for special teamers, a full-time starter. But this has been since 2013, so
Yeah, he's a little longer too. But
he might be a little old. But right now we
need that depth and that health in the secondary.
One thing about him though, his time recently came to an end in San Francisco because he was arrested for a domestic violence incident. The charges were later dropped. I want to say something about this because this is really, really important, guys. The choir boys might be out.
Yeah.
Think about this. The Lions would have never signed somebody with domestic violence issues. The charges were dropped. Brock never faced any punishment from the NFL. But I just want to say this because a lot of times it's been squeaky clean for like quite a while now. And sometimes you got to get a little dirty to win. I hate to say that, but it is the case. That's the way.
I mean, and the charges. I mean, we don't really. We don't know if the charges were substantiated. We don't know why they were dropped. When they were dropped, and the league dropped any punishment. So you have to give the reprieve to Tremaine because from what we know on the base of what we're looking at, it's just the reports are is that it was unfounded and he went about his business. So hopefully those things aren't following him into Detroit. So,
yeah, I hope not. Now we're going to go to Curt with the injury report from yesterday.
Hey, let's get at these injuries, man. Terrell Crosby still out with the ankle. Kenny Golladay could not flex that hip to save his life. Deshaun Hand has that twisted ankle, maybe a little swollen. Frank Ragnow still out with that throat. Daryl Roberts doing the hip flexors again with my man Kenny Golladay. Matthew Stafford is definitely still out with that rib cartilage and the thumb injury. John Pennicini had a shoulder; he was limited. Now we had some upgrades. Peterson upgrade from Thursday where he was limited. Wednesday if he was limited. He was upgraded to full yesterday, as well as Tracy Walker was an upgrade with a shoulder as well. Jason Kambini must have got over the sniffles because he was a full-time go yesterday. Austin Bryant was a full go as well as CJ Moore. Austin Bryant, man, he's finally getting healthy where he can get on the field, and that is
Deshaun Hand just kind of tag in and out, don't they? I mean,
yeah, it's him and they just kind of go back and forth on the injury report. But that's the injury report for yesterday. It's called the Pain Train.
The Pain Train, and
it is time to go ahead and get into the good doctor, Dr. Jimmy Liao.
Yeah, Jimmy Liao is going to come in here and tell you all about the Frank Ragnow throat issue, and we're going to go to him right now.
All right, so Frank Ragnow yesterday Wednesday initially reported to have a throat fracture, which is something I've never heard of. Well, later in the day, there were reports that it was likely a vocal cord contusion, which is a little bit more specific thing. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Now, I reviewed the entire first half of the game. I did not see anything noticeable or obvious. On many of those blocks in the first quarter, he did engage the defender. The defender had his hands higher up in the upper chest, neck area. Maybe something occurred then. On none of the plays did he afterwards reach for his neck or show any signs of discomfort. It's possible that any kind of injury to the vocal cord could have happened pregame also, and then gradually as the game started got inflamed and got worse. So nothing obvious on video there. Ragnow probably had a fiber optic laryngoscopy from an ENT specialist to take a good look into his vocal cords to see if there was any significant issue. Now, I have a picture on the YouTube channel of this. I actually did a few of these during my residency training. So what you do is you stick a rubbery camera tube. It's a pretty thin tube. Stick it straight into the nose, and then it curves and snakes down straight into the back of your throat, allowing you to visualize the vocal cords. And you thought the COVID test was bad. Well, this camera allows you to really take a good look to see if there's any significant issue. Well, the reports are that there was no eating or breathing issue, and it's an isolated vocal cord contusion. So hopefully that's the case, because vocal cords can cause problems sometimes. It can cause a breathing issue. It can cause shortness of breath. There is actually a disorder called vocal cord dysfunction, where the vocal cords inappropriately close up, causing trouble breathing, wheezing, and it can mimic asthma. So it's really great news that there is no problem with his breathing. So assuming this is an isolated vocal cord issue with no effect on breathing, well, I definitely don't think he's going to be singing the national anthem, but there's a good chance he could play this Sunday in the game. Feel free to leave comments on YouTube or at Twitter at JimmyLiaoMD. Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get into our main course right now, and we've got two people that are coming into Detroit for interviews, and we decided, hey, let's preview who these people are. Thomas Dimitrov is going to be first. Curt, take it away.
All right, let's look at Mr. Thomas Dimitrov. He is age 54. He went to Gallup College University. Looking at his career history as a administrator and as a executive in the NFL. So first up, he was part of the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the CFL. Shout out to the CFL, man. I like their football up there, man. Their football is fun, man. It's fast paced. It's 3 downs, so you got to get it out there. So I like CFL football, man. I hope it comes back really soon. So that was from 1990 to 1991. World League Football of America, that was the NFL Europe, pretty much. 1992, he was a scout for their NFL team for over there. Then he took on a position with the Kansas City Chiefs as a part-time scout in 93. From 94 to 97, he was a area scout with who? The Honolulu Blue and Silver themselves, the Detroit Lions, back in 94 to 97. Then he took a trip down south a little bit. He went over to Cleveland from 98 to 2001 as a college scout, and then he went to the dreaded place, the empire itself, the New England Patriots, 2002 as their national scout. Then he stayed with the program and became their director of college scouting from 2003 to 2007. Then where his biggest achievements have came, he was the Atlanta Falcons general manager from 2008 to 2020. He was fired earlier this year on October 11th. He was fired from his position with head coach the other Quinn, following the team's 0-5 start of the season. But he had 2 Super Bowls appearance, 2 Super Bowl championships with the New England Patriots, and another Super Bowl appearance against the Patriots with the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, and that is Thomas Dimitroff, and now we're going to go into Scott Pioli, and we have a little difference of opinion here, so we're going to have our crack research team kind of figure this out, because it reads here that the GM for the Kansas City Chiefs was Scott Pioli from 2009 to 2014. Oh, no. He was assistant general manager.
Assistant
we
general
have
manager.
that figured out now.
Yeah, he was the assistant general manager. So basically, he worked for Dimitroff in Atlanta from 2014 to 2019.
Yes. Okay, we got that figured out. Now, he's 55 years old, so he's a year older, year wiser. No, kidding. He went to Central Connecticut, and then he went to Syracuse. He has actually been a coach. So he was a coach at Syracuse, a graduate assistant there. He was Murray State's offensive line coach, and then he was Murray State 1990, Murray State's defensive line coach in 1991. As an executive, he was at the Cleveland Browns from 92 to 95, pro player personnel assistant. The Baltimore Ravens in 96, pro personnel coordinator. Ooh, fancy title.
Yeah,
New York Jets, 97 to 2000, director of pro personnel. And there he goes to the dark side and goes to the Patriots. No, I'm kidding. Assistant director of personnel for New England in 2001. He was the director of player personnel for the Patriots from 2002 to 2008. He was the vice president of player personnel in Kansas City from 2009 and 2012. Oh, wait, I think I got this messed up because he was the general manager then. And then from 2014 to 2019, he was the assistant general manager
for the Atlanta Falcons.
For the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, so he was a GM. He was a GM from 2009 to 2012 at Kansas City. Yes. So that's that era. I think that's Alex Smith's era in Kansas City, coming in from the 49ers. Where he was there in the start of the Andy Reid era in Kansas City.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff there. He's got 3 Super Bowl championships. 2001 with the Patriots, 2004 with the Patriots, 2005 with the Patriots.
Yeah.
My thing on Scott Pioli is he's an awesome GM. He is, but he's the Patriot way, and I don't know if we're seeing that at this point or not. I mean, Lions fans, could you embrace that? I don't know.
And that's the same thing that I was talking on the Die Hard Den. Shout out to my man Shawnee J last night. We were talking about both of these guys as being former member of the Patriots and that bringing that Patriot way. So we're looking at that, and he said he wouldn't want to touch those guys with a 10-foot pole because they were former New England guys. I said, but the only thing for me is that they've had success outside of New England. So I mean, like, looking at
Atlanta though.
Yeah, and Pioli had some, because a little bit of success out there in Kansas City, part of that rebuild out there.
3 years, but I didn't think that was still just till 2012.
Yeah,
so
but the Atlanta Falcons ones, they except for the last few years, the Atlanta had really turned that roster over. Think about that Super Bowl year they had. And Scott Pioli and Dimitroff were a big part of that team that they built that went to the Super Bowl that lost to the Patriots. Bringing in, guys like Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, and bringing in guys like Freeman and I forget the other running backs name that they had. And then think about the wide receiver they have now, Ridley. I mean, that guy's a beast. They've built, a pretty good roster. I just think that, overall, it just kind of fell out of favor because of the fall of the team last season.
Both of these guys really are tied together.
They're tied to the hip. Yeah.
And
it's like interviewing brothers for the same job.
For real. It is. But you know what? Rachel brought up something last night. Shout out to RachelMarieSports. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what's wrong with you. The thing is she brought up this point of they're interviewing people that have a kind of a general manager or a front office tree as well. So John Dorsey's part of this, and a couple others, and maybe they're getting information on them as well. As they're interviewing these people, they may be also garnering information on other people that they were going to be interviewing as well. I thought it was a really good point that she brought up. So for me, this is a hard no on both.
I wasn't
I don't
wasn't
like what happened in Atlanta. You
Yeah.
know, I think they
I wasn't
underachieved a lot.
yeah,
Could be
I wasn't a
coaching.
fan of. I'm not a fan of either guys. When their name came up, I was like, okay. I mean, you're doing your due diligence by interviewing these guys, but I'm not really sold on either one of them.
Pioli would be my favorite because he had a really good stretch in Kansas City and he had a really good stretch in New England. But I don't know. I mean, Rick Smith. Don't let him out of the building, folks. I'm just kidding. There's so many good candidates out there right now, but these two actually have GM experience. And so that's why I would put them above some of these others. I don't want an up-and-comer right now. I know everybody's shouting, oh, yes, we should get the next big thing. We tried that. His name was Bob Quinn.
Yeah.
Did not work out.
That didn't work out too well. Yeah.
Let's get somebody that's proven, somebody that wasn't really fired, because of his record. Someone that has 39 Pro Bowlers to his credit. And that person would be Rick Smith.
Yeah. That's him. That's the guy.
That's the dude right there, man. At least for me, that's the guy. So, okay, let's go on to the question of the day. Which candidate of these two that are being interviewed by the Lions, so these are just people that, we threw out there and that could be interested. These are people that are being actually interviewed by the Detroit Lions. Which candidate interests you more? Would it be Thomas Dimitrov or would it be Scott Pioli? So put that down in the comments below, and we will read your comments tomorrow, as many as we can get to. It makes this show entertaining and interactive, and that's what we want it to be for you guys.
Yep.
And now we're at the my favorite part of the show, the dessert with Curt.
Hey, it is time for some tasty morsels, but today it marks another end of an era for Lions football coverage. After the 2020 season, the Lions coverage is leaving WJR-AM, and it is rumored that they could be going back to 97.1 The Ticket.
Really?
So, yep, that's some
big
breaking news. It just broke about an hour ago. Yeah, so they could be returning to 97.1 The Ticket for the 2021 season.
That is big news right there. I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Curt. I say I never know what he's going to bring out. I know. I purposely don't know, and I don't ask because I want the reaction to be genuine, I guess.
Yep. So
thank you for everybody rocking with us today.
You know it, man.
Oh, man. You guys are awesome. Just awesome. The comments, the subscriptions, everything that you guys do. We appreciate you. It's one big family. We got so much more coming for you in 2021. There's some big announcements coming that we can't really go into yet because it's more in the planning stages yet, but we're going to have some big things coming in 2021.
Yes, sir.
And we really appreciate each and every one of you rocking with us. And let's go to Curt to close the show today.
Okay, it is still the holiday season, people. Now, it's coming up on Christmas. If you know someone who's struggling during this time period, who has isolated, reach out to them because it's the holiday season and it is time for a family. But with this COVID situation, it's just not safe. So if you know someone who's been isolated and they can't get to their family, reach out to them, text, call, email, FaceTime, Skype. I don't care. Just to show that you care about them. And if you have someone in the military that is deployed, reach out to them as well, because guess what? It's even twice as hard when you're millions of miles, thousands of miles away from your loved ones overseas. So let's do that for me, and also, what it is. It's Detroit Lions on the Prowl, baby. We are your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Join the family, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you're getting fresh content from us right here on this channel. Like the video, share the video, comment on the videos. All of that helps us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. Now, what you got to do. Whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man, Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, this is Curt Steele. and we will holler at you real soon.